Good evening, and welcome to episode 19. I still can't get over that number. Episode 19 of Your Questions, My Answers. You know, I've said it before, but I never really thought this would catch on so well that we'd be filming episode 19. It's crazy. But anyways, I am Jerry Cruz from the StogieView.com, and as you know, this is our bi-weekly Q&A session where Walt and I get together and answer some of the questions we get from all the different instant messaging programs out there, from our contact form, from our newly created fan form. That's basically the gist of the show. Joining me, as usual, is Mr. Walt White from the Reading, Pennsylvania area. Good evening, Walt. How are you doing this evening? And why don't you take a minute to say hi to the folks and let them know what you're enjoying tonight.
Well, folks, welcome back to episode 19. It is strange. I mean, it's been quite a while we've been doing this. It's been a lot of fun. I'm glad it's kept up. It's nice to get feedback all the time through email, forums, message boards, and whatnot. It's nice to know that there are people watching and submitting questions. So we're actually doing some good out in the community, and that's always a big plus. And tonight I'm on my second cigar tonight. My first one was a Oliva Series G Cameroon in the Special G size. It's a little Perfecto, great little smoke. It's good price too. I mean, I think I paid about $2.75 for it. And now I moved on to the Oliva Series O Perfecto. And this is a cigar that Sam Lucia from Oliva Cigars sent me shortly after I did the Oliva Series G Maduro review. I'm just finishing up the sampler that he sent me. The only ones left are the master blends, and I'm kind of afraid to smoke them because I don't have any more. Just this couple that he sent me. So how's life been treating you, Jerry? How's baby duty?
Life's good. It's pretty hectic at work, but before the baby was born, I was pretty swamped at work, and now I took the time off with the baby, and now I'm just barely treading water. It's just ridiculous. But baby is doing great. It's crazy to believe he's going to be 2 months old on Saturday. By the time this airs, he'll be 2 months old, which means my wife has 1 month left before she has to go back to work. Poor her. He's great. It was rough the first couple weeks there, but we got him into a little routine now, and things are going well. As people can see, I'm coming from Studio B, which B standing for the baby's room, which means it's a non-smoking. Which means I can't smoke in here, just like he doesn't sleep in here. Studio A is outside where I can smoke, but I'm coming in from Studio B, so no smoke from me. I am just enjoying some, what is this called? Blueberry pomegranate juice. So, it's interesting. But like I said before, this is our bi-weekly Q&A session where Walt and I do our best to answer some of the many questions that we've received, and we throw in a little off-topic banner in, as you can see. As always, our standard disclaimer applies that we reserve the right to be wrong. Neither Walt or I are experts. We just play two guys on TV as experts. Just joking. We're really not experts. We really don't know what we're talking about half the time. We just hope it makes sense to people out there. But it's your responsibility to let us know if we screw something up or if we're just spreading bad information. So with that, let's... Walt, you got anything to add before we jump over to segment one?
No, looks like we're ready to go.
All right. Well, segment one here is sponsored by our good friends Bob and Dale and Bob, over at the Dog Watch Cigar Radio, where they provide thoughtful conversation, considerate opinion, and a touch of insanity. So with that, Walt, why don't you take over, give us question one here.
Well, question one comes from Charles through MSN. And he goes on to say, I have seen cigars listing Habano wrappers which are quite dark. Are these the same as Maduro? What exactly is a Habano wrapper?
All right. Well, what exactly is a Habano wrapper? Well, in the Cuban cigar industry, I guess there really isn't a thing called a Habano wrapper. I guess they kind of follow the same. It's more of like the shade of the wrapper. You know, you have the lighter shade, the darker shade. I can't remember what order the shades go. Maybe Walt will know. But the way I refer, I didn't really actually know that. We looked it up, but I always thought it just meant that it was a Cuban seed tobacco grown outside of Cuba. That's what I thought it meant, and that is what it does mean. But there's actually another. It also applies as far as the shade of the actual wrapper, the shade of the cigar. Walt, I kind of butchered this answer here, so maybe you could clean up for me here.
Yeah, I figured it was a Cuban seed grown outside of Cuba. You know, Dominican Republic, Honduras, Nicaragua, wherever the country may be. And I just wanted to do a really quick check just to make sure that what I thought was correct. And it looks like that is the case. There really is no such thing as a Habano wrapper inside of Cuba, because it refers to wrappers grown outside of Cuba. And I also saw that in the United States market, or outside of Cuba, the Habano also refers to a color scheme, and it falls in between the Colorado and the Colorado Maduro color spectrum. So I guess it's sort of like a Robusto and a Rothschild. Different companies are going to use it in different ways. They're going to use it to describe a cigar in two different fashions, and you just kind of hunt and peck and actually find out what it is they're actually talking about. But I think in most cases it's going to actually be a combination of both, a Habano wrapper grown outside of Havana, Cuba, and a color designation as well. But that's what I got from a real quick web search.
Let me ask you this, Walt, and I'm not trying to, I always think there's some kind of conspiracy theory of the man trying to get one over on us out here. But do you think cigar manufacturers or cigar retailers advertise their cigars as being Cuban seed to kind of hype their product? I mean, why can't they just say? Why can't they just say it's a Nicaraguan? Why do they? It was grown in Nicaragua. Why do they gotta have to? Why do you think they add the fact that it's Cuban seed tobacco?
I think that if a cigar manufacturer was going to say that to a seasoned cigar smoker, or just someone that's kind of in the hobby a little bit, they're not going to think anything of it. It's just going to be, oh, okay, well, it originates from Cuba. It's a descendant of Cuba. It's not really Cuban seed. It's it's Cuban seed that's kind of a descendant. So, but I think it plays a huge impact on the really new cigar smokers that really aren't into the hobby too far yet. They're not really in over their heads. So they find out, they hear this and they think, oh wow, this is a way for me to get Cuban, a sort of Cuban cigar or a Cuban tobacco. And I think they just kind of play to their age in that sense. And really, I think that's all it really is just to try to tie their product with in with a product that's essentially not available in the United States.
Or that's just known to be the best, I guess you could say. Most your average uninformed person out there will assume that Cuban cigars are the best, and it's kind of name association type thing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they just add that little bit of a forbidden fruit mentality to a cigar that they can pick up on a regular basis.
Gotcha. Well, interesting question. I actually learned something from that. I didn't know it actually that second part where it had to do with the shade of the wrapper there. But moving on to our second question. This comes via MySpace from Dave, and Dave has a pretty interesting question here. He writes, he says, I have a high quality 100 cigar capacity glass top humidor with one internal shelf. The humidifier is fluorofoam, roughly 6 inches long. Where do you think is the best placement for the humidifier inside of the box? Should I attach it to the underside of the shelf, the glass, back of the box? So thanks for your help. So Walt, where do you think? I'm assuming now. I'm imagining this humidor Dave's talking about